Good afternoon, Yasmina. My name is Greg, and I spoke to you on the phone briefly today. And I mentioned that I work with local contractors, roofers, plumbers, solar, etc., to bring them more business by ranking their websites to the first page of Google. This is very important because most buyers, when they're starting to research the purchase of a large ticket item, which solar is, will start with Google. And if you're not on the first page of Google, you are essentially invisible, missing out on over 95% of all the potential traffic. So I'm going to give you some suggestions today as to what you might be able to do with your website to really ramp up in terms of the potential customers finding you. I'm going to cut to the chase very quickly. Currently, your website today gets 64 visits a month. One of your competitors there in Los Angeles gets over 1,000 visitors a month. Now we think about what we could do to turn some of that into paying customers, and you can see there's a vast difference between your website and theirs, which just shows all the opportunity. So I'm going to talk to you about this. By way of overview, as I mentioned, it's all about beating your competition to the top of Google. And there are three main areas that I will focus on today when I give you these suggestions looking at your website. Number one, content, words and images, quality and quantity of those in your website. Number two, backlinks. This is all about building trust to your website, and I'll explain what a backlink is in a minute. Number three, citations. These are directory listings. I'll go into this in a bit more detail too, but this is about driving relevance to your website and winning one of these top map spots for your website. Okay, let's dive straight into looking at content. The first thing I'm going to say is that this is a really great website. It's built on WordPress, which is the standard. You've got a lot of content. It's very engaging. So well done on this. When we talk about content, we talk about quality and quantity, as I mentioned. From a quantity point of view, really important. This allows Google to understand, basically, their Google machine to understand that you are an authority in your area. If you have lots of words on your website, the machine will assume that you are an authority. Because you're able to write volumes about what you do. And there's also a relevance play here too. If there are lots of words on your website, the Google machine will assume that somewhere in these words are the answers that their customers are looking for. If you are both authoritative and relevant, it goes a long way towards allowing Google to rank you to the first page. Now, from a quantity point of view, you have no problems here. You have over 100,000 words throughout your website. A lot of it is in testimonials and blogs, etc., which are extremely valuable. So I'm not going to talk too much about quantity, but I will talk about quality. When we talk about quality, we need to make sure that the words that we choose to write into your content are what we call keyword phrases. This is a keyword phrase: solar installation, Los Angeles. If I was living in Los Angeles, or when I was, and I was looking, and if I was looking for solar, I would use this kind of generic keyword phrase to start my search. This is what we call a buyer intent location-based keyword. Location-based because, people are looking for local, for trust and convenience. There's no point doing a search and pulling up someone in San Diego that's not going to be relevant. And it's a buyer intent keyword because this is the kind of keyword that a buyer uses when they're looking to make a decision. This is not a research question. This is a buyer intent question. Okay, so we want to pull together a list of as many of these kinds of keywords as possible and write them in throughout your content. Now, it's no good just writing them in any old fashion. There is a very strategic way to write them in that feels organic without overwriting, and that's the kind of work that we would need to do. Let's go ahead and take a look at what your website is in terms of organic keywords. So again, this is the tool I showed you at the beginning. Your website gets 64 visits a month. It should be getting a lot more. You have 123 organic keywords currently indexed in Google. That is to say that they've read your website and they have pulled out these keywords that they are using to describe what you do. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, some things to note. Here are the keyword phrases. Here's the search volume for those keyword phrases. And this is the position in Google that your website would sit if someone was using this search phrase. Okay, so good news is for your brand name, Amico Solar, you're in the first position. But very quickly, pardon me, very quickly beyond here, you're on the second page of Google. None of these other search phrases for which you rank on the first page actually describe the work that you do. St. Hedwig Pony Baseball doesn't describe the work that you do, although it is mentioned in your website. We have to go down to the second, almost third page of Google now to see that you start showing up on the bottom of the third page for solar panels, Los Angeles, California. Solar, Santa Barbara, now you're on the third page. So our work here is to rewrite your content in such a way that these keywords you start to rank for. Now the strategy here, there are many of them, is to find all the keywords that are most relevant from a buyer intent location-based point of view with the highest amount of search volume. We find 20, 30, or 40 of these, and we rebuild your content around those keywords, okay? By way of comparison, let's go ahead and have a look at LA Solar Group. So now they have over 1,700 keywords. Not necessary to have that many, but let's take a look at what they're doing. Now you can see that they're ranking to the first position of Google for keywords such as solar roof shingles Los Angeles. Okay, they are in the third spot, first page. Solar installation Los Angeles, that's a great one. They're on the third spot, first page. Solar roof shingles Los Angeles again. So on and so forth. Okay, so they're doing a good job. This is all still first page of Google here that they're ranking for all of these things. And this is the opportunity that we have to really ramp up the visitors that you get to your website. Okay, so that's content. Now I said I would talk about backlinks. A backlink is any time that another website links to your website. In order to be trusted by Google, you have to participate in the internet. The internet is a web. And the more times another website called a referring domain links back to your website, it is an opportunity to build trust. If Google trusts that website, then some of that trust by association flows to you. Now, the result of this is a trust score. This DR number here is a trust score. So you have a great number of referring domains and backlinks, but still only a trust score of 3.5%. Okay, so what this really means is a lot of work has been done here, but it hasn't resulted in a lot of trust. If this number doesn't go up, then Google can't trust you enough to put you on the first page of Google. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at LA Solar Group. So now they have a great deal more referring domains. A lot of work has been done here, and they have a trust score of 33%. It's no wonder that they're getting all the traffic that they are getting. Now, we don't need to do this much work. What we need to do is we need to go ahead and do some research, figure out the best of these referring domains, the highest quality, with the highest trust score, the most relevant to your business, and we link to those websites. Okay, we reach out and we request a link, we pay or we register, and we do that work over time, piece by piece, bit by bit, month after month, to slowly build your trust score. Now you can see here that if we don't do this work over time, the referring domains and trust score can erode. So since 2014 through now, there's been a tail off, a drop in the number of referring domains for your website. And we want to turn that tide around and get this trust score heading in the right direction. Okay, so that's backlinks, which drives trust. Last but not least, citations, the mention of your business name, address, and phone number anywhere on the internet on an online directory. If we do this correctly, we give you the opportunity to win the maps section. The maps section are the first 3 results that ever show up in a Google search, okay, below some ads here. This is a very good place to be, and if we get the citation strategy correct, you have a good chance of landing both here in the maps section and also at the top of Google search, or at least on the first page. 2 places on the first page, good place. The strategy here is to figure out how many citations, directory listings, each of these competitors have, and we go out and we beat that number, not just by 1 or 2. My suggestion is always to beat them by at least 100 or 150. I always recommend from the get-go that we go out and we source at least 200 high-quality directory links, citations, to really ramp you up into the first spot and the map section here, which is a good place to be, particularly when your customers, and most of them are, using their mobile phones to search. If they get this search result on a mobile phone, they'll see another button here, which is a call button. They're able to call you directly from their phones without having to scroll down, click in, find a number, save that number, and then give you a call. So that's citations. All right, Yasmina, so by way of summary, I've given you some suggestions in the areas of content, backlinks, and citations. Content, you're doing great, lots of words. We just need to get those keywords in there. Number 2, backlinks. We need to build the trust score for your website by linking to the best high quality relevant sites. Number 3, citations. Take a look at the citations, get those directory listings, get you up here into the top of Google. This could turn your website from being a site that gets 64 visitors a month into a site that gets a lot closer to 1,000 visitors a month. I'm not sure exactly what your conversion rate is, but imagine how many more jobs you're looking at if you could double, triple, quadruple, and more the volume that you're currently getting. There you go, Yasmina. Thank you for watching my video. I look forward to speaking to you again.